Well, hello, folks, and welcome to the Dieter Melhorn Fishing Podcast. Hope you're having a good day, whatever day it is that you happen to be listening to the show today. We're going to talk about bank fishing. I am going bank fishing. I'm shooting some bank fishing videos this coming week, this month. I'm going to create some content around it. I've been talking about doing it, and I finally made the decision to do it. I was talking with the guys from Takedown Rod Holders about some rod holders for this thing, and I just said out loud, I said, I need to commit a month to shooting bank fishing content. Saying it worked. So thanks to Takedown for their help on getting some rod holders. You'll be seeing those in some upcoming videos. And I want to thank today's sponsor for the video, Bote, B-O-T-E. You have seen their cooler on the boat if you watch any of the videos. I started running one of their coolers last year, and they are actually helping with the bank fishing content, believe it or not. They do a lot of stuff in the fishing world, not just coolers, not just the really cool magnetic tumblers that stick to the top of the cooler, but they also make a beach cart, a cart to pull your fishing gear around on. So they are going to help me out with one of those carts because I'm somewhat lazy and don't want to carry everything in a backpack. So thanks to Boat. I'll put you a link down in the description. You'll be seeing the cart later on once it gets here. I'm going to have it in a bunch of videos, just trying to make my life a little bit easier. The cool thing is it's got these big tires on it that work really good in the sand. So if you're doing any beach fishing or any place that's got a lot of sand, it's kind of cool. So thanks to Boat for helping support this little cause of mine to go bank fishing. What I was going to tell you about was how I go about it and how I find places to fish. Obviously, in the area that I live, I kind of know places from fishing in a boat. And, I know places that work, places that maybe don't work, maybe not work this time of the year. But what's going to be interesting is when I go into some of these different areas, like when I head to the coast, I don't really have any clue where to start. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about is a little bit of my process, some of the things to keep in mind, and kind of what I go through. And I'm going to share this in the videos as we do them. It's going to be fun. Don't expect to see a ton of fish caught because I'm going to be facing the same perils and ups and downs and struggles that all you guys that bank fish, encounter. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be kind of an adventure. It'll be something different. So I appreciate you watching it. But the first thing I did when I decided I was going to do some stuff down at the coast was go to Google. I start searching for public fishing areas and kind of put a list together. I got my old legal pad here. I jot stuff down on and kind of ballpark the stuff, figure out something that's within a certain range of where I'm at. And that kind of gives me a big list. Google Earth, great thing to go to. It gives you a lot of information on what these places look like, where the parking is for them. That's one thing I said in another video is that, a lot of times you can find a place to fish. The problem is where you're going to park. Where can you park your car safely? Sometimes it may be a hike to get to it. So that's one of the, that's kind of step number one is do a big wide Google search. Number two, I start going to Google Earth to look at stuff. After that, what I have done is I start looking at Facebook and start looking up groups, fishing groups, different things on Facebook in these areas. Like here where I fish in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, we've got fishing groups for Lake Norman, Lake Wiley, Lake Wateree, Mountain Island, the stuff on the Yadkin chain. There's all these different Facebook groups that kind of, the people will post fishing reports, people will post pictures, that kind of stuff. So it's a good idea to it's a good place to kind of get an idea of what's going on in that area. Maybe what's biting, where people are fishing at, sometimes what they're using. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be tight-lipped about stuff. And, that's where having some relationships with these people helps. It's hard to just come charging in and go, hey, I'm going to go fishing. Where should I go? What should I use? Some people are receptive to that. A lot of people are kind of guarded about it, and that's just human nature, I guess. It's just the way it is. I try to throw out some general information when people talk about Wiley and stuff, where to go, that kind of stuff. trying to give them some stuff in the right direction. Some of it you got to figure out. Some of it is boots on the ground. We'll get to that in a second. But, the next thing you do is if you have people in that area or know people, this is where you start counting on your relationships. And it's one thing, if you're new to the fishing world, it's kind of tough. You don't have that many connections and stuff. But sometimes you'll be surprised who you know somewhere when you start asking. And those kind of people can kind of help you out and give you some information, and maybe they know somebody that knows somebody. Luckily, I know some people at the beach, and shout out to Inglis Glover. He's a known TV guy down there. He used to guide. He's got a great podcast, and he's given me some intel on some stuff down there, some places to go. And, those kind of relationships that you have with people that you build on, and you hold sacred, and they can help you out. So that's another thing. Is you start, maybe you're new to fishing, start building those relationships. Honor them. Somebody tells you a secret place to go to, don't blow it out to the world on where you went. If you can keep it secret, keep it on the low down. It's like I told him, I said, hey, where I'm going to be fishing, I'm going to be videoing, so don't put me in some secret spot that somebody's going to go, oh yeah, you're right next to the water tower, third piling over, and boom, that's where the fish are. Keep those kind of things a little bit sacred. Keep that kind of stuff in mind. So, the other thing is, sometimes you just got to show up and wet a hook and go fishing. And if it's a public pier, a community hole, a place where a lot of people fish, make friends. Those people a lot of times can give you some information and give you some idea of what's working, what's not working. It pays to show up with maybe something friendly to offer, even if it's a candy bar or a bottle of water or something, just to create a relationship with that person too, so that you're not doing all the taking and none of the giving. So keep that in mind too. Always be cordial, always be friendly. Another thing to keep in mind is make sure you got your fishing licenses in order, especially if you're going out of town or in an area that you don't normally fish. Where I'm going to be fishing at, it's, I'm going to be into saltwater areas for some of this stuff. I'm going to need, a saltwater license. A lot of these public access places get pounded a lot by the game wardens. It's easy pickings for them. It's a lot easier to hand out tickets and check people there than it is doing it out on the water. So that's kind of the way I'm going to start it. The big question is going to be bait, and depending on where I'm fishing, that's going to be something I'm going to figure out once I narrow down the list. If it is I will probably do like I normally do and start at the bottom of the food chain with something, whether it be redworms to catch bluegill, some type of sunfish, or if it's saltwater, shrimp. You start at the bottom of the food chain. Everything eats shrimp. You catch something little, you step up a stage to do it. Some of the areas I'm going to be fishing are transition zones between saltwater and freshwater. So, there's going to be hopefully, some blue catfish in there that will hit, the stuff that the saltwater fish are hitting. So, that's going to be the thing. I'll pack a cast net. It's going to depend on where I'm at as to whether or not this is going to work or not. That can be a exercise in futility sometimes doing that, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see what's going to work. So bait's kind of on the list. Bait shops are another place that you can hit in these places if you're going to a new area and ask some questions. It's not going to be exacting information, but they can give you some decent information about what's going on. Usually they're getting some feedback, they're getting some chatter, there's some people hanging out, that kind of thing. So always hit up your local bait shops. If nothing else, buy something there. Maybe showing up a couple days in a row, 2 or 3 days a week, buying something, doing some business with them. Again, it's you giving a little, them giving something. If they say you're just not in there begging for information, you don't spend any money, well, they may be a little more reluctant to help you out. But if they see you in there, buying some stuff, going fishing, struggling, trying, they want to keep you fishing is the bottom line. They want you to catch some fish, because if you don't catch any fish, you're going to quit fishing. You're going to quit buying bait, hooks, sinkers, and fishing line, and you ain't going to do them any good. So there's a little bit of effort on their part to keep you kind of in the game. So that's going to be the process that I'm going through. Y'all are going to get to come along for the for the struggles, ups and downs, what I'm doing. And I'm going to try to break some of this stuff down as far as just the way I'm thinking and approaching it. I've done a lot of videos on different kinds of things, hooks, rods, reels, and all that. And I try to mention bank fishermen, but I haven't done that much bank fishing content. So I'm going to do some. Sadly, I'm starting in the worst time of the year to do it in June, but what the heck. We're going to try to knock some out and get some stuff made. I've got some invitations from some people locally to do some stuff at some super top secret fishing locations. We'll probably be filming at night just so everybody can see where they're at. They're not that big of a secret. It's just, it's more local lore than anything. But, and the big dream, if we get the right sponsor for this show, is to travel around doing some of this in some different places. Tyson Chicken, if you're listening, Tyson Chicken, we want you to sponsor this roadshow, traveling the country, catching catfish with Tyson Chicken. It's got a ring to it, doesn't it? Traveling America, catching catfish with Tyson Chicken. There's I got some hope there. But anyway, I appreciate y'all checking this out and listening. Stay tuned. Drop some comments on some places you'd love to see me go struggle and try to get your fish. I'd like to hear that too. And going to be doing it all with affordable gear, good gear, like the rod holders from Takedown Rod Holders. They're helping out with this. Get to see their products and, some other stuff that you guys can use yourself and get your hands on. So anyway, appreciate you checking it out. Appreciate you listening. We'll catch you out on the water.